Good morning, everyone. It's the 1st of August, first day of the month. Had some terrific price action this morning. I'll be the first to admit I didn't take full advantage of it. I even tweeted what I was going to do, but, but I didn't do it myself. I hope some of you saw it and did it. Let's have a look at what we've got today. First of all, I'll just go through these hourly charts, and you can see what I tweeted out this morning. Things that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. These this ascending triangle pattern through here looks like it was going to break down. Usually with an ascending triangle, it's breaking down. Obviously, it hasn't done that this morning. Very bullish price action. This little curve here I drew on. There was something I was talking about on Friday. Looked like a little rounded top, but these lower levels here could have just been low liquidity, not too many participants on a Friday afternoon sort of thing. It's blasted up overnight in the US session and formed this fractal above this high here. These are very common price action patterns. It's obviously got some legs. Price wants to move up. The market wants to move up. It's looking for a chance to move down at some point, but it's not today. And it's looking more bullish than ever. When it's going to stop, who knows? We just have to keep our eyes on it. What I traded this morning was long. We've got a gap close here, terrific gap close here. Okay, and then we've got this high here. This is what it held up overnight, say on Friday night or Saturday morning in Australia. Friday day session in the US, of course. So you can see there's logic to these things. This is an hourly chart, so there's quite sort of like big spikes, especially on opens and closes and so forth. Let's have a look at the other charts I had a look at. Here's this channel we've been looking at, a big broad channel, so we're kind of still within that. I don't like this channel so much anymore. It was great back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, starting to break down, 5, 6, and see the general gist of this price action sort of rolled over a little bit, but here it is again up at the top end of the channel. So it's not the greatest channel. It's only got a couple of hits down here, so use it, have a look at it, keep your eye on it. It's bounding price action at the moment. Now, what we want to have a look at here is something I put put on the charts this morning. Sending wedge again. We had a little trend line that petered out here. Let's take that off just so we don't get confused. Look, I've taken that off now, obviously, because we're not going to talk about that anymore. But I still like to draw, when I look at charts, I draw lots and lots of things in just to practice, looking for, what would I call it? Just looking for these confluences, looking for lines, looking for things that it's respecting. And that's how you're going to find, if you practice it all the time, later on you'll see it further up, closer to the price action on the chart, So I think it's a good idea to always do that. Just make it a little hobby to just draw lines all over your charts and look for supports and resistance. Okay, so there's our broad sort of pattern here. It's obviously busted through in a major way this morning. It could be just Monday morning low liquidity. That may well retrace all the way back to this support level. So if you see any kind of reversal, you might want to take that. We've got a level through here. Obviously, on the futures, it's 5537. So it's a fair bit from where it is now. Getting close to 30 ticks, probably a little bit less. 25 ticks or so. So let's say we do retrace. That'll be a good trade to get into if you can find a little kind of reversal pattern on a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart even. The lower level chart it is, the tighter your stops are going to be, of course. And the lower level it is, the less chance you're going to get this whole 20 ticks. So higher level charts, smaller positions, bigger stops, bigger targets. It's very common. That's how we sort of look at things. 1-minute chart, tight stops, small targets, a few ticks, all the way through to 4 hours and dailies. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to bring up this morning. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart, which I always tweeted. I also tweeted this morning, which a lot of people would have seen. There's a very good illustration of fib here. And there's some, as I said, it depends on the time frame you're looking at. Look at the amount of detail we're getting in a 15-minute chart here. Look at these lines. A fractal up and over. I call it an up and over. I don't know what you guys call it. We've gone up, over, tested, resistance, resistance, up, over, tested, resistance, and support, 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 support. Terrific line, okay? You might want to try and take that off the open, maybe not, because look what happened, you wouldn't have held it. But a classic line through here, 1, 2, 3, and you can see it almost hit it this morning, just on the opening. It went down and came very close to touching that little trend line, so that's something to pay attention to. When you get a confluence like that, 3 points, and then it's had another shot and come down and fill this whole open move here, and even down a bit further into that. You can see on the 15-minute chart that little nib there. These are overlap gaps, and it can go down and test down deep into those, So you want to keep your eye on that. If you're trading a 5-minute chart, we can even go down and have a look at that. This is 1 minute at the moment. So let's put it on 5 just so it's a bit easier to see. Okay, that's that little trend line I'm talking about. The first hit on the open came down and came close to it, and on a 5-minute chart you can see it's like you could have gone right deep into this fractal here, and it's really clear on a 1-minute chart. But you've got to remember these are the tighter it's getting, the smaller the moves are, and a little bit of volatility there. It's easy to get taken out on your stops. So they're very tight. You want to get a hit and a bounce, and you can see this has happened right through here. This is a great sort of illustration of how price action works, and it works on every time scale. The difference being your management of your risk and the management of your money. Money management, risk management. It's always all about that anyway, but once you learn all these tiny little movements and price action, you can take advantage of that. So something like this, on open, you might want to take a half-size position because of the large amount of volatility. This is a really high probability trade here off the top of this. But you can see even here last night, it popped out, came back, tested that level, and then shot off out of it. And even on a 5-minute chart, that's what, 22.5 through to, I went as high as 37.5, which is, work that out for me, 15 ticks, and if you want to hold on for that long. So a lot of you put that together with it being a very bullish market and looking for long entries. Let's say you want to be a little bit conservative and you want to have a bias, long only, you're just looking for long entries, which would be a sensible position to take, given the bullish nature of the market. You can trade short, there's lots of short trades in there. Straight off open, there was a short trade, and there's other trades up here that we'll have a look at now. As this shot through, I didn't know, this turned out to be an extraordinarily bullish day, but there's a lot of resistance. So the first thing I looked at was here. We can see it right here. There was a reaction at that level, which is around about 45 on this chart. So if we go down and have a look at the 5-minute chart at 45, see it didn't fill up this gap, so it's actually blown through. If you have a look at it very closely, I was looking more at the cash market, but what I want to show you is, as this went through, it actually blew through that trend line. It's hard to see it on a smaller time scale, but you need to examine these every day. Go back over your price action, go back over what happened, and have a look at what it does, because every time you do that, you'll file something else away in your mind about how price moves and how you can take advantage of it. So it's come through over the top at 45, come back, hit it, and then shot off again. So you ended up with a move from 45 to 60, 65, so it's a 20-tick move just from that one observation. Mostly a conservative trader would have probably waited for this high here at 2.5, I think it is, or looks about that. I was trying to find like fibs, throw fibs over it while price action was trading, and I couldn't really. There was nothing that was really matching up. And what I really want to show you is the cash market. All these points. Now, there's a point on the cash market. Now, let me find it on here so I can show you what I wanted to. I think it's this one. That's the one. Now, that first early hit, there was a little short there, but 95 was the level I was looking at. And the reason I was looking at that, I'll have to bring over the other chart of the investing charts, the investing.com charts, and I'll show you what I mean. It was a daily chart. Let me just bring it over to here. I don't know if this is going to show up. I don't think I've got a window for it. A little bit of trouble with that. No, that's it there. That's the cash market there. Let me just make it a little bit smaller so we can see it properly. Some of this software is new to me, so now let me just. This is the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. Okay, here we are now. The daily, you can see this line here. No, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. Let me bear with me for a second so I can show you this little bit of a interesting action. You can't see it there. You can see that green line there. That's currently at about 606. So it's gone through the big figure. Now that was a big something I had in the back of my mind because the market was well and able to achieve that big figure this morning. It was well within the average range for the day. I think it was about 35 ticks or something from where we opened. So I really had my eye on that, and I also had my eye on this swing low for the day, that low from this previous day over here. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. Let me just move this out of the way. That's the one. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is, let me move this out. And so this price action is from quite some time ago, back in, well, it's back in August, isn't it? Yeah, back in August last year. But the market knows where it is. Trust me, it knows where it is. Everyone's watching. So there's a low here at about 88 on the daily chart. Now I paid attention to that. That point was 95. I think it was 95 in the morning at around about 11 o'clock. So it hovered around there, and it tried and it tried and it tried to get through. I thought that might be. I actually went short there, and I ended up taking a loss, even though it went in the money for me. It went a couple of ticks in the money, and I didn't shut it down quick enough, and we shot through. And obviously, I just shut it down, and thank God I did, because it's had another run up. It's a very bullish day. I don't know that that's going to come back on a Monday going into lunch. That'll probably just, there's a good chance that'll just like hover around up at these levels at the big figure there. Maybe at the end of the day it'll shut down. And the next bit you want to really be paying attention to on the daily chart, on the cash daily chart, is this sort of, I think it looks like about 608, 609. And guess where we are on the, where are we? 608, 609, exactly. So you really need to look at this in conjunction with the futures market, because there'll be things happening on the cash market that won't necessarily make sense on the futures market, and sometimes the stuff on the futures market won't make sense on the cash market. You need to keep them all in line all the time. So there were three things we were looking at this morning. There was the trend line on the top of the ascending triangle on the futures market, the big figure, and that swing low. The swing low and the open close here. So I think that's probably all we need to talk about at the moment. Look, I'd like to go into this in deeper detail live, because it's hard for me to go back over the whole morning's price action and show you everything I notice, because they're the things that I'd like you to notice. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to do that. I'm just sort of checking out the software for it and the regulations and so forth for having a few live sessions, and maybe we can share those, and a few people can put in a little chat room and put in some ideas as well. Anyway, the other bit I just wanted to point out here is earlier. This is the daily chart. We looked at this point earlier. A few days ago, horizontal line. Let's just put it. There's a 2 daily closes here, and this is like a 1, 2, 3 reversal on the daily chart right back in July, I think it was last year, a year ago. But you can have a look here. Look where it stopped. It attacked that level many times. It's so bullish now that it's going to go through. And look, where's the next cash level here? It's probably up here at 640. I don't know if you can see that. It's getting a bit small. So we've got another 30 ticks from here. I don't know that it'll do it today. It's unlikely, but it could. Look, it could just be one of those days where it just keeps getting bought and bought and bought and bought, and it's happened before. Anyway, we'll leave it right there. We'll do a wrap up at the end of the day, and I hope everyone's getting some value out of these. Good luck with your trading, and we'll talk later. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We've had some quite extraordinary price action this afternoon. I definitely got caught. I think we talked this morning about going long at this trend line here or at this fractal here. I did that, and I don't know if any of you did as well. I called it very early this morning before the open. I put the question to everyone, what, is anyone going long? Now, what we've had, I got out pretty early actually. I talked about, looking at the cash market and the previous lows from last year and the closes from last year, and it's gone through all of those. It's gone, I think, almost around about to the 610 level, and then it's just absolutely cranked it back in. I tried to go long on some of the 5-minute levels for reactions on the way back down, thinking about how bullish it was, and you can see what's happened here. I've got caught on every single one. On here, I got caught on every single one here and here. I got caught, and even the low here, I shut it down around here because it was sneaking through. I got long again, and I was trying to hold it for this run up here. I think we're still bullish. If we have a look at the 1-hour chart, look, there's some open space around here, but I have a feeling, I just don't know, it's a very strange day. There's been like a relentless bullish run in the morning, and it's completely just released. It's a big V top, rather than a V bottom. Anyway, look, we'll see towards the close what it does, if it rallies or if it just like sucks out and hits these support levels down here. I have, I suspect what could happen is we could have a situation like here, where you have sort of a railroad track kind of event up through the resistance. We'll see. Anyway, it's very interesting. I got out way too early out of my long move. That was where I got in was really low. It's 20 to kind of almost 70, a 50 tick move. And that's, there you go. I tell everyone, leave something in, leave something in, leave something in. I didn't, and I paid for it. And what's even worse is I actually went short at the top, I saw this little 5-minute fractal here. Now, this is a very good lesson for everyone. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. This was just bleeding up and bleeding up and bleeding up, and usually price action like that, it'll just hold or keep bleeding higher. But you can see that breakdown here. I'll put a line in there because that's very interesting. See this support resistance level here? It's come up, tested. You're looking for a launch from there, and it's broken through, come back, tested, and then kablamo. This is where I got short. I got out I think here, looking for a reaction, and I've got absolutely poleaxed today. So I've had the two best trades of the day, and I haven't taken advantage of them because I haven't followed my own rules. Anyway, not to worry. We all do it. You'll do it. I do it. Professional traders do it. It's just something to remember. Do what I say. Leave something in. Even if you leave 10% in, that 10% can get you 20 ticks sometimes. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the day, and we'll try and catch up again tomorrow. I hope you all did well today, and I hope everyone's having had a good weekend, and enjoy your evening, and have a think about what happens overnight in the morning, and we'll talk again. Goodbye.